Hi friends, and welcome back to our channel. I hope that last week was very beneficial for you guys. I know for me, I've been in I feel like I'm in a gestation period where I'm just at a pause, kind of, with a lot of things. I don't know if it's all the retrogrades that are happening right now, but I feel like I'm suspended in time and space, and I don't really feel as though I'm a part actively in what's going on around me. It's like I'm just watching it all happen, and I guess I'm waiting to see the most probable timeline for me to move forward in. So that's why it's taking time. I'm gathering information, but it's been I've just been trying to rest. That's all I can do. All right, let's see. I am going to get into our reading in just a moment. Let's set the space first. Then I will tell you guys a little story about what happened to my deck. I'm just lighting some Palo Santo right now. I had lit some earlier, but I just feel like there's a lot going on right now for us. So let's just... I invite you to take 3 deep breaths with me. One for body. One for mind. And one for soul. All right, thank you. So I normally use the Psychic Tarot deck, and I am in New Mexico, like I said, and I decided to go hiking last week up in the mountains. And I thought it would be nice to bring my deck with me so I could do a reading while I was up there and just, kind of meditate and connect to Gaia. And anyway, I ended up getting caught in a hailstorm. It was pretty intense, and everything I had got soaking wet, and including my tarot deck. And by the time I had the chance to dry it out, the deck had become stuck and dried together, and I was able to peel most of them apart. But nonetheless, my deck is somewhat destroyed, and I had to order a new deck, but the new deck hasn't come yet. So I'm going to attempt to do this reading with a very warped, ripped deck. It's been baptized by the New Mexico rains. But yeah, I want to really do a reading for us for this week. So let's get into it. All right, let's see. Where are we now? Where is the collective now? All right, we have hope and we have crown chakra. So let's see. Yeah, in a place of gaining power, seeing the situations outside of ourselves at this time, and yeah, kind of like how I was just saying, how I feel like I'm looking at all the different timelines and I'm trying to choose at this point which one is the best way for me to move forward. In this place, being in this place of like channeling higher guidance with that crown chakra energy. Allowing the ideas to come to us. Waiting though, like it's not like movement, it's like waiting to see the options that we have in our hands before we decide which ones we're going to keep and which ones we're going to put down and which ones we're going to carry with us. Working on our light body, working on keeping our vibration high, but it's still kind of like suspended. It's like a star suspended in space. It's not shooting, it's not going in any direction just yet. It's kind of just being what it is. But I feel like whatever situations that we're looking at, whatever different paths, choices that we have available to us now, I feel like ultimately we're looking at all of those situations with a higher perspective. Like, I love that saying, you know, like it's not, things aren't happening to us, they're happening for us. And I feel like a lot of us are in that place where we are able to truly understand that new dynamic. And so it is a place of hope because we realize that there are no wrong choices. It is a place of light. It is a place of, like, our last reading was universe, where we were, and it was like a place of being completely free to make these new choices, like without these like karmic ties that are attached to us. And I feel like we're still in that place. We just we're not moving. This is a very being. Both of these are just very being. Look at the crown chakra, right? It's just being. It almost looks like a cell, you know? It's like it's just there. It hasn't like multiplied. It hasn't divided. It hasn't split. And here we have hope. They're both just like orbs of light that are just being. We're just being who we are. Okay, let's go to what's the blockage here. What's the blockage? These are so hard to shuffle now since they're all warped and weird. Let's see. I want us to get a good reading here. Okay, what's blocking us is a 3, heartache and loss. So there is a sense of like difficult, it's like whatever we're going through right now is actually normally perceived as something difficult or something a little thick, you know? It's like us moving through the woods and the darkness, you know, like normally it's not as easy as moving through the woods in the daytime. So as a blockage, it's like whatever we might be dealing with right now is something that normally brings us maybe heartache, maybe loss, maybe normally it would be very difficult for us, a feeling of solitude. But ultimately where we are isn't in the dark. We're a light. We're a star. We're so, so bright. So it's like, just tuning in here. What we're up against right now is like a hurdle of some kind. It's a hurdle. It's like, you know, like I said, it's like we're a star, but we're not like shooting off in any direction just yet. And it's because what's in front of us is this hurdle. And it's like, once we get over this hurdle, or we, you know, incorporate it into us, or learn whatever lesson it is that we need to learn from it, then I feel like where we're going to go is in that shooting off, like forward direction. It's like, but there's some kind of blockage here. It could be in terms with family, root chakra. It could also be maybe in terms of like enjoying in your sacral chakra, like things that you normally do enjoy, things that you are usually like creative about. We had that last week as well, I believe. I think we had the blockage coming up as family and home again. So it seems like a lot of us are kind of in that same space. It's like becoming that true light worker that we are, and that we know we are, but doing that, we're seeing like, yeah, how that's going to how it's calling us to change. And sometimes the gap between the frequencies of different people becomes so much more obvious to us that it is like a loss, you know, because it's like, I can't communicate, I can't talk, I can't bring you to where I'm going, and it's taking us that time for us to like really realize, like, okay, where do I go from here then? You know, we're not really ready to shoot off yet, but we're like really just, I feel like we need to feel our sense of belonging within ourselves before we can take that with us wherever it is that we're going to go. But I feel like we know all of this already. That's why it's like, yeah, I don't feel like this heartache and loss, or this pain that we have. It's just like a little speed bump. It's something that we have to look at right before we drive away from it. Let's go into the near future. Where are we headed? Where are we headed? We have a 2, divine timing. So whatever choices and decisions that we have coming up in the future are still like, we're still kind of at that pause in some way. It's like we're still gathering information. Let's see, where are we headed into the future? It can be a feeling of like, whatever it is that we have coming up in the future that you have to make a decision about is something that has been very cyclical. Is that a word? You know what I mean? It's something that keeps going around and around and around and around, and we come back to it and we see the lesson, we see the situation for whatever it is, and then we come back around to it. Whatever decisions it is that we need to make, it's like we have to make a decision about it to move forward onto the next path, because if not, we keep going around in circles. Whatever this decision is, we have also authority coming up. So this is about like channeling that divine masculine energy in us, the one that makes healthy boundaries, the one that makes decisions, the one that protects the divine feminine side of us. Show you guys. Can you see? Look at this. This is, I mean, the card says authority. This is a very authoritative figure. This is a very balanced divine masculine. It can also be that sometimes it's about like, yeah, you see, sometimes this card can mean that there's something stubborn, like a stubborn energy coming up. But in the near future, I don't feel like that's what this is. I feel like it's like us channeling that divine masculine energy to move forward on a different path. Let me see. Heart chakra. Focusing, another 4. This is also about stability. This is about like that bridge again, the bridge between the upper chakras and the lower, like between our like divine self and our physical self. So this is about balance, moving forward in a very balanced way in regards to connection and family and communication, connection, operating from the heart, making decisions in our heart center, from our heart center. When we really like breathe in, you know, and like settle into the heart center and make these decisions from there, that's what's coming up in the near future. It could be something that you need to protect because some people don't understand that, making decisions from there. Most people are making decisions in our lower chakra area, which is where we store our fear and survival. So it could be something that you have to protect with this authority figure coming in there. That the energy of that card is a very like, I mean, just look at him. He's like, he's like the bouncer, the bouncer of your heart. He's like, no, this is, I'm not going to let you do that. This is what's going to happen now. This is where we're going, you know, because ultimately, you know, it's for the best. Because if not, you go around and around and around in circles. I'm going to pull one more. Let's see, for near future. This is a lot about personal boundaries coming up in the near future. Let's have one more for the collective. I feel like a lot of these cards, the energy of this reading is extremely like, I feel like we had to stop somewhere along the way to get our breath back almost. You know what I mean? It's like we got to stop. And that's what this retrograde period is about, you know? Like it's about like taking that time to relax and to rest and to really look at things in retrograde, right? Like think about it like that. This is a very paused reading, but a pausing in a very, very in a way that's really good for us. It's very beneficial for us to stop. You know, it's very beneficial for us to stop at this little pit stop that we're in right now, because here we are, you know, drinking our water, we're seeing things, we're taking time before we make any decisions to move forward. It's like gaining clarity, could be like just doing some more meditation, like really checking in, like, because it's like, I feel like whatever this heartache and loss is as a blockage, it's like we don't want to make any decisions on that just yet, because we don't want to act the way we did in the past out of our wounds and our pain, or make decisions from our lower chakra area. Now we know that we are more aligned with within ourselves in the universe, so we're not going to make decisions and choices and actions the way we used to. But so before we decide what we're going to do, let's just stop and make sure, like, okay, because this is a totally new way of being, you know? And it's like, all right, well, before, let me just take some time to, you know, check in with myself, practice things, because when I do move forward, it's going to be in a totally new way. All right, let's see. Yeah. And whatever this is coming up in the near future, it can be something, the card came out as disruption. So this is something that I think that we know whatever decisions we make coming up are going to be, you know, our dynamic to it is going to be very different, and that in itself is going to cause disruption, and it's going to change our reality in such a way, because the reality that's there is no longer serving. So we're going to stand there, make the plan, we're going to go in, and that timeline is going to crumble. So the new timeline is more available to us, and when we see it and we know exactly which one it is, we're going to move forward really quickly. But it's going to be something that can be, I mean, that can be difficult. But I feel like we know how to do it, and we know it's going to require a lot of energy and boundaries. So that's why we're not doing it just yet. We're getting all our ducks in a row. And this retrograde period, like I said, is a really, really good time to do that. Okay, let's go to advice. All right, advice. What should we focus on now? What should we focus on? Video is longer than most of mine. All right. Let's get one more. Sorry, these, like I said, these cards are just all messed up. I'm so sad. Oh my goodness. One more, let's see. Okay. Okay. Our advice is, I feel our advice is something that we're already doing, because it's the same energy as the entire reading. So I think that this is just here to help validate what we're doing. That what we're doing right now, us being patient and waiting and making this plan for this massive change that we have coming up, is exactly what we're supposed to be doing, because our advice here is a 2, movement, choices, and decisions. So to me, this is about, yeah, like taking our time to see like the different pathways. You see, he's standing there, he's looking at like all the different choices, all the different doorways that he could walk through. So this is about doing that. This is about being like, all right, let me step back. Let me look. Like, which way am I going to go? What am I going to do next? Which way am I going to do next? Sorry, guys. I'm like... I am going through a lot of things as well, so bear with me. I love you guys. Thank you. Which way am I going to go next, right? That's the way. Okay. And then we have also temptation, which is about the card of codependency. It's about our old patterns, our old ways of being, our old ways of falling back into, which could, when we have this as a blockage, it's so easy to fall back into that, right? Into that old place of our wounds and our being a victim and like, why is this happening to me? And going back into those old cycles of like, yeah, of like the codependency where you know, like you keep doing the same thing, you know, and that's why here we have that the waiting game, you know, it's like around and around and around. So they're saying to break free from that, to however you used to do things in the past, to move away from that and look in a new direction, which is exactly what we're doing. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're waiting. That's why we're gaining clarity. That's why we're building our divine masculine energy to be able to move forward in a way that we feel protected and that we feel safe and that we feel secure. And we know, like, I'm here to back myself up. So whatever choices and decisions I make, and no matter what happens for other people who may not understand what I'm doing, it doesn't matter, because I don't need anybody else to understand what I'm doing, because I spent the time to make sure I understood what I was doing. So I do, and you don't have to answer to anybody else. So that's where we are right now. It's like we're gaining all of this power within ourselves to be able to break out of the old patterns. And that's what they're saying to do. They're saying to focus on that. Focus on the new way that you want to be, in the new direction that you want to go. And the last one we have is light. Focus on that light. Focus on that higher knowledge that we have within ourselves, you know, to focus on that, to call that in, to call in our spirit guides, to call in our angels, or whatever you believe is there as a support system for you. Like, to call that energy in for you. Yeah, I feel like whatever we're going through right now is a very breaking out of some kind of karmic pattern, like a pretty big one. That's why it's taking us time. And it's like we're at this level now where we have these, you know, we have this knowledge, we're operating from within our higher self now, so we're able to take on these different challenges, and we can understand them in a different way. It might be the same kind of challenge, but we're understanding it in a different way, in a different aspect. So we are taking the time to understand, okay, well, how do I deal with this now as this new person? Where we are in our advice is very similar. So I'm saying, I feel like a lot of us, we already know what we're doing. We're very aware of it. We can see it. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for us. I'll try to wrap this up. I'm taking so much time. Okay, let's see. Actually, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna do, they want me to do an angel card. Let's do angel cards. Yeah, I'll do 2 angel cards. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and liked and commented. I still have a $33.33 tarot reading special going on. The link is down below if you're interested. All right, I have our first card here. Let's see what it is. Divine timing. So I just went over that in our near future, so that makes sense that it's coming up again. Let's see. Pay attention to doors that are opening and shutting for you right now. Walk through doors that open and learn from the doors that shut. Your prayers are being answered. There is no doubt about that. However, everything operates according to the universal law of divine timing. This means that certain pieces of the puzzle must first fall into place so that other parts can come to fruition. If you try to skip or rush certain pieces or parts, the whole plan will lack a solid foundation. Don't try to force open any doors that appear closed to you. Instead, ask your angels for guidance to see if the door closed because of negative expectations or if it's simply a sign of divine timing. Look for other doors that do open and walk through them with faith and gratitude. If you try to skip or rush certain pieces or parts, the whole plan will lack a solid foundation. So that is exactly what I was saying before. Like, the energy of this reading is very like we've taken like a pause, we've taken a pit stop. We're like, wait a second. Like, because we want that solid foundation, which we have coming up in the future. This is a very balanced, solid card. You know, it's a 4. It's about foundation, about the pillars going up, you know. So this is about, like, here, if you look at this little cherub there, he has taken the time. This is kind of the same thing. It's like we stop, we adjust our aim with our bow and arrow, make sure that it's aligned, then we take the time and we pull it back, and then we wait until it's time for us to let go and move forward. Which is exactly what I was saying. I was like, I feel like we're in that place of like being a star, but we're not shooting off just yet because it's not time for us. We're still gaining information. We're still making sure that we're breaking away those old patterns. We don't want to do that anymore. So let's see. We'll take one more. One more, please. Let's see. Thank you guys. You guys are still watching this. I think this is the longest video I've ever done. All right, here we go. New love, again with the bow and arrows. New love, let's see. A new chapter in your love life begins, whether it is with a new partner or rekindled love in a current relationship. Open your heart to a new infusion of divine love through a partner in your life. The angels are preparing you to be aware of new people entering your life, as a new mate may be unlike your previous partners. Be open to changes in your current relationships, and don't cling tightly to ideas of how you think relationships should be. This is a time of wondrous changes in your love life, and you are asked to trust God and your guardian angels to work things out for your highest good. Changes in your love life will only be painful if you are rigid in your thoughts or behaviors. If you flow with the current of love, you will find that old parts of your love life wash away. They are rapidly replaced by new aspects that will delight you. Current relationships may end, or they may act as a transition into a new phase of passion and renewed love, or a new partner may enter your life, inspiring great happiness for you both. So this is, to me, also about, like new love coming in, but also like the transitions of our old relationships, which is about this. This is a card of codependency. This is about like I said, like those old patterns and ways of being, especially in regards to relationships and people. You know, it doesn't need to be love, but it could just be people, like a romantic love. It could be love in the way of like our family, our friends, you know. Let's see. And again, this is with the bow and arrow, you know, like taking that time and like focusing the aim before we're ready to really shoot off and shoot forward in a new direction. All right. Well, thank you for watching this long, if you have. And yeah, our advice is to do exactly what we're doing, which is funny, right? Like, we're already doing it. We're already doing it, and we know that. So take stock in that and relax into that, knowing that you are moving forward in the right way. Release those old patterns and to embrace the light. Instead of reaching back into the past, you reach forward and up. Okay? All right. Well, I love you guys so much. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up or a comment. I'd love to know how this resonated with you guys. And thank you to everyone and everything all the time. Have a great week. Thanks. Bye.